Life without Brook Lopez this season began tonight at the Barclays Center as the Nets battled the Indiana Pacers, and the result wasn't really good as the Nets fell to the Pacers 103-86. Hi, I'm Dexter Henry for NetsDaily.com, joined again by Tom Lorenzo, the great writer for our site. And Tom, this was not a good game for the Nets. They competed for a little bit in the first quarter. We saw that, hung around, you could say, till halftime. But once again, the third quarter was a struggle for the Nets again, as fans have heard this repeatedly over and over. But now there's no Brook Lopez. This team has to adjust to that, and tonight just wasn't a good start.
Yeah, look, it looked early on like they were going to get out to a quick pace, start to kind of push the pace a little more without their big center, without their 7-footer. But, things got a little rough early on. Neither team really got into an early rhythm offensively. It looked like it would be a nice defensive battle. But again, third quarter comes along. The Indiana Pacers use Lance Stevenson, Paul George, their athleticism. They get out in the open court. They stretch the floor with their shooting. And then once they're able to stretch the floor, they went into David West, went into Roy Hibbert. And it was just too much offense for the Nets, who couldn't keep up. Look, again, without Brook Lopez, trying to make proper adjustments. But tonight, we just did not see any. Tried to get a little more athletic with Mason Plumlee in the center. But really, after that first half, it was all downhill for the Brooklyn Nets.
It was, and you can see they clearly missed Lopez in this game, especially in the inside. Yeah. As you mentioned, after the game, we got to hear from head coach Jason Kidd and point guard Darren Williams about this tough loss for the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, I think, it's getting very close to just accepting losing. We've kind of getting comfortable with losing. And we got to, make a stand with that, because when things get tough, do we just give in? And most of the time right now we do.
No, I'm not. I'm not comfortable losing. It's not fun. It's not fun. Not only when we're losing during the game, but when I go home and sitting and thinking about it, it's not fun. So.
One of the interesting things that you heard there, Tom, was the words by head coach Jason Kidd, and that the team is getting comfortable with losing. Now, Darren said he doesn't think that the team is getting comfortable losing, but when you look at the effort that you see on the court, that's what fans are going to see. That's what the coach sees right now. Right. Is there a lack of effort? Is this team getting comfortable with losing?
Yeah, I agree with Jason Kidd to a certain extent. I mean, look, he's right when he says they're coming out in the third quarter. The effort's just not there. And you can watch. You look at the body language. As soon as they come out, they get down early. Indiana kicked it off in the third quarter with an 11-4 run, gave them some distance, and all of a sudden you could just see it in the body language. You just saw the ball wasn't moving, a lot of ISO plays, a lot of one-on-one. It just wasn't the same offense, and suddenly it looked like, and it begins to look like, once they get down early or in the third quarter, right, all of a sudden they're refined to losing. And I think there's certainly something to what Jason Kidd says. But on the flip side, it's on Kidd, it's on Darren Williams, it's on Pierce, Garnett to really get these guys back into where they need to be. But until that happens, yeah, it does look like they're refined and resigned to losing.
I think we are seeing when they are not able to make shots on the offensive end, is translating to poor play on the defensive end. And one thing we heard from Coach Kidd is that the team still has to defend. There's no excuse not to play defense. And the fans here in Brooklyn want to see that. We heard a couple of boos tonight, and that's never good or not what you want to hear here at the Barclays Center. But looking ahead to things, next up, Christmas Day matchup with the Chicago Bulls. I'm sure Nets fans would like to have a Merry Christmas. Milwaukee after, and then road games in San Antonio, at Portland, two of the best teams in the West right there. So it doesn't look good as far as the competition upcoming, but we do have some sort of positive news. Jason Terry played tonight, and he looked extremely well. He showed a lot of effort and energy, in my opinion, Tom. Yeah. And then Andre Kirilenko, you're going to tell me a little bit about what the deal is with him going forward. So give me hope. Give me some hope here.
I'll try.
Is there any hope for the Net fan in the next couple of games that there can be some kind of spark? Give me something, Tom.
All right, you know what? Christmas Day, again, no Derrick Rose for Chicago Bulls. Tough defensive team, but they're struggling a lot on offense. So, it's going to be one of those tough battles. Maybe a team that the Nets can hang with. Right. Again, like you said, home game against Milwaukee, winnable game. So maybe you pick up these next two, see if they can get into a rhythm. Jason Terry back, 11 points in the second half for Terry. And Kirilenko said before the game, we're in the locker room with Mike Mazzio. ESPN asked him if he expects to be back. Kirilenko said either Christmas Day or the following game he expects to play. So you're going to probably get Kirilenko back in one of these next two games, barring any setbacks. So again, yes, you're without Brook Lopez, but you have two guys coming back who can help you with the depth. And Karolenko obviously helps you with defense, athleticism, and length. So it'll be great to get him back in the lineup.
I think there's no doubt that those two players can help, and hopefully we can see more energy and enthusiasm throughout the team. Well, tough loss for the Nets tonight, 103-86 at the hands of the Indiana Pacers. And I forgot to mention, in going through the schedule, they play those same Pacers again on Saturday in Indiana. So that's another tough road test for the Brooklyn Nets. That's it from here at the Barclays Center. The holidays are upon us. On Wednesday, Christmas Day, the Nets will play the Bulls. From all of us here at Nets Daily, we're wishing everybody a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. For Tom Lorenzo, I'm Dexter Henry, signing off from the Barclays Center.